Hello, my name is Zermus. Welcome back to 1 Hour, 1 Life. In this video, we're going to have a tutorial on how to farm. So, if you watched my previous video, you know how to make clothes now, and you've killed a bunch of bunnies, and you sewed together some booties and pants and a hat like this, and now you can stay nice and warm and not have to worry about losing food quite as fast. I haven't eaten in a little bit, so I'm just going to grab some berries real quick, and then we can start. Nom. And nom. Okay, so you want to pick an area that's close to water. The water spawns in swamps, so like here's an area that has a bunch of I don't think you can get water from ice holes, so but you want these duck ponds and these ponds here, right? So you want to be near that, and also being near a swamp makes it easy to get baskets from these reeds, which is also going to be important. Baskets are super useful. So we'll just like plant in an area here. That seems like a good idea. We're going to need an empty basket. And we're also going to need these fertile soil deposits here. This spawns in the green biome, which happens to be really close here. So you scoop out of here and you get some fertile soil, and then you dump it on the ground, and now you got a tilled row. You can go ahead and do this a couple times. You're going to want to make a bunch of these essentially. Once you get going, a single field of seeds will refill up to 10 of these. So you can go ahead and like start with like 5 or 10 or whatever. And then we're gonna need to find some carrot seeds. Now I showed you how to do this in a previous episode as well. You know how you were picking digging up carrots in order to eat them, and how you picked the seeds off the top of them before you did that first. That's important because now we need those seeds. So like here we go. Pick that seed, there we go. And you know, you can only carry one at a time. But if you got your basket with you, you can throw a bunch in the basket. Once you get going, a single field from a single seed will be able to replenish all of your fields. So don't worry too much if you can't really find those carrots. So we'll go ahead and start here. You just put the seed right in there, and now you've got dry planted carrots. Now we need to water it. So how the heck do we get the water from over here over here? Well, luckily you already know how to hunt bunnies, and now we got this bunny rabbit fur. Well, if we take our flint, which I may not have any here, so let me find some real quick. Bunch of rocks and no flint. Okay, let's go take a quick look over here. See, I think I did see a piece of flint over here where I was working, because we were cutting some bunnies. Sorry, I'm not quite prepared. Alright, so over here we got some rocks, so there's a piece of flint. Okay, so we need this to be able to skin to skin bunnies, and also to cut the big pieces of fur into smaller pieces of fur, and that's what we'll need in order to make the bottle. We're gonna make a rabbit skin, which will, here we go. So we cut the rabbit fur in half, and now if we look at the needle and thread in 4 pieces of cut, it makes an empty water pouch. So I've already got my thread and needle here, which I taught you how to do in the last episode. That's just a thread. Where'd my needle go? Here we go. Notice how I haven't eaten in a while. I'm getting hungry, but I get hungry a lot slower because I'm nice and warm in my clothes. Well, I'm fairly warm. Here's some berries. We'll drop my needle. I gotta remember, after you use the thread, you get to reuse the needle. It's always helpful. So we'll go and put it down here, and now where to go? So here is my empty water pouch. So now I can go up to the pond, get some water. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There we go, wet planted carrots. So now if I give this a while, it will eventually grow into a carrot. Into a bunch of carrots, actually. It'll be a little plot of 5. So now is a good time to teach you about the third law, which is very important. You never want to drain a pond completely. So you saw when I took some water out of it, it got a little lower. I take a little more out, it gets even lower. You can take 4 scoops out of a full pond without too much trouble, and it will slowly refill. If you ever accidentally take water out and you see it dries up, just dump your water back into the pond, and now it will keep replenishing. So there always must be some water in here. If you ever see a dry pond, you want to replenish it. Otherwise, you know, sustainability laws that won't be able to survive. You got to keep water supplies around. All right, so I got a couple more in one of these baskets. Here we go. I grabbed some extra carrots, so we're gonna go ahead and put the seeds in here. That's my whole basket. Pull it out. There we go. There we go. Set a couple more, and then we can water this. If you've got a child with you who's pretty smart, you can go ahead and ask them to help you out. They can get water. That's a pretty easy task. That's very helpful. See, whoops, I drained it, and now the goose is gone too. He'll come back, but we do want to put the water back in there so that this keeps refilling. If you ever drain it, it won't refill. That's why you want to be close to like a couple different ponds. Come over here, get some water there, and then we can get this one, although I don't have any carrots in there. So that's pretty much it. Now it's kind of waiting, right? So it's also important to make sure you still got your berries nearby, because carrots take a little bit to get going. Eat my berries. While I'm waiting, I'll go ahead and grab my basket and go get some more carrot seeds. Or some berries as well. I think there's some berries over here. It's a good idea, like when you just spawn and you just need to survive, you're stuck where you're at and you want to keep looking and eating because you just got to live. But when you plan on setting up a little base, you kind of want to, find a decent spot. So close to water is definitely important. I didn't bring my rock. Always have your sharp rock with you. And then you also want to be, being near wetlands is important because you get the reeds and you can get the water supply. Being near the green area means you get your berries, so that can keep you alive while you're waiting. Here's my carrot. Make sure you get the seeds off there first before you dig out the carrot if you're hungry. Collect these seeds because these are what we want to plant. Alright, so the carrots grow in the yellow land, so you want to find a balanced area. If you're near yellow, you can get the initial seeds, but that's not as important because once you get going, the farming can sustain itself. But you do need to be near water. Usually 3 or 4 ponds that are really close by is super helpful. And you also need to be decently close to the green area so that you can get your food, your berries when you don't have carrots yet. And also you need to get that fertile soil. So if we wait a little bit longer here, this fertile soil, or these carrots are going to grow here. When you pull the carrots out of the soil will stick around so you can keep reusing that soil. However, you are going to need seeds. And how it works is, first, these are going to pop out carrots. And they actually pop them out pretty fast. Let's go ahead and put a seed in there. Get our water pouch. See, there's some carrots. So now, this is where baskets are really handy, right? Because you want to pull these carrots out. A good thing to do when you have other people with your farm is teach them only eat carrots from baskets. If you're the farmer, you're the only one that should be pulling carrots out of the dirt, because it's very important that you get seeds in order to make future generations of carrots. If you don't do that, then your farm is not going to be sustainable. So I mean, a lot of this game is teaching new players, in particular teaching your children, right? If you're making the farm and you have a baby, you want to teach them how to do the farm correctly so that they can sustain it, and then your lineage will continue. Otherwise, you're just going to die and your work will have essentially been pointless, right? So baskets are great. I've already got a couple baskets here. Very easy to make if you're near the swamp. First thing you do is find some food so you don't die. I think there's another berry bush right up here. That's why this green area is good. You'd be like, oh shoot, I'm getting hungry. There's always usually a berry bush nearby. If there's a lot of people around, you might be, out of luck. You can see it's easy for me to get lost because I didn't post a home marker. Always post your home marker if you think about it, because it really helps. Alright, see, you got a bunch of carrots here. Alright, I was saying, while you're waiting for stuff to grow, get more baskets. Like, you can never have too many baskets. I'm serious. If you got kids that's like, what can I do to help? Just tell them, go get baskets. Find an area with a bunch of these reeds. Take your sharp rock, just chop down as many as you can. Then come back and build a bunch of baskets, and one by one bring them back. In fact, if they're near plots of soil, like I think there's some soil up north here, it'd be like, go make baskets, find fertile soil, that's clay. They look similar, but they're not the same. Find the fertile soil that apparently is not in this area. And then bring back the fertile soil. And then that way, because you will need more fertile soil. There you go. Here's a bunch. And you can go a long way on the natural fertile soil that you find around the area. Eventually, you'll need to make compost, which I can also teach. Oops. Yeah, and you can move these as well. So if you're like, oh, I don't want that there. I want that actually to be over here, right? You can pop it over there. So then, once you got the carrots and you've decided which ones, sometimes it's good to have a space between the ones you want to be for picking and the ones you want to be for seeding. That way it's easier for people to know, hey, don't pick these ones. But as long as you tell them, hey, only let me pick, then it's easier and they won't ruin your farm. So you just pick them up. You can put up to 3 carrots in a basket. And that's why you get a bunch of baskets and you can just load these things up with carrots, man. And then your family can come by, take carrots out of the baskets and eat them. And once you're at this point, like me alone here, I can sustain myself until I die of old age with these carrots. It takes about 3 times as long for the carrots to turn into seeds as it does for them to just grow into carrots. And they grow into carrots pretty fast. So you don't, like, as long as you've got a couple berry bushes nearby when you're starting this, again, you need to make sure you have your empty water pouch, otherwise you can't get your water here. The good thing about the main servers is you can often find dead civilizations and they'll have resources. So you can, and I'll probably have a guide over looting dead civilizations as well and what's important. Another handy tip is if you got bones in your way, you can use a basket and move them to somewhere less unsightly. I'm trying to wait here for these carrots to sprout. Let's go ahead and talk about compost. So this is kind of advanced, but it will be important for keeping a sustainable farm. Eventually these natural plots here will run out. I do think these refill a little bit. Maybe they need to have one left in them, or maybe not. They'll just slowly refill. But in order to be completely sustainable, especially when civilizations get large, is you'll have to start composting. But we can't do that yet because you have to have pottery, which we haven't gotten to. This is just for basic farming. So this will only get you so far, really, as long as you have natural fertile soil resources. You can see that when fully clothed and having a little farm here, this is just a small little farm, you can live for a really long time. Here we go. So this is what I was waiting for. We got the seeds. I'm going to go ahead and pick these off here. So you notice after it's seeded, the soil beneath them is gone. So if you've got empty plots, you can go ahead and place the heads. Every seed plot will give you 10 seeds. So if you've got like 10 empty plots for every 1 seed here, if you've got extra, you can just put them on the ground. You don't necessarily, so this is a double one. You can see if I pick this up and I use it, it'll be worth 2. And you can also put these in baskets as well. So sometimes it's good to keep backup, especially if you have a lot of people nearby that'll accidentally, whoops, there's a rock in there, that'll accidentally pick your seeding carrots before they seed. If you have backup seeds here, that's always a good idea. So if you make a couple extra early, and now this is gone, so you need to go and get another plot of fertile soil. But these seeds can now, a single plot here can plant another 10 rows of carrots, and this is a ton of carrots. Look how many carrots has come out here. But you do need to be careful. As you start having a lot of children, if you keep them all alive and then they have children and you've got like half a dozen families, you're going to be going through these really fast. So you'll need a lot of people helping with farming. If you've got one person that's working pulling the carrots, planting the seeds, and you got like 2 kids that are running and getting water all the time, you can get a pretty good farm going. But it does take a lot of work and you need to teach everyone how to do it correctly. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching.